For those of you in the US, I hope your day after Thanksgiving is a good one. I hope you're not feeling. We had a no cook Thanksgiving in our household. We based it on the idea of a charcuterie board, and it was cheese and meats and bread and fruit and vegetables and dips, and it was great. I ate so much, but I don't feel stuffed. And I definitely don't have that morning after ooh feeling. So we're going to try that again, I suspect. No cook Thanksgiving. That may be my new mission in life. Put that out there in the world. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I want to talk to you about today is the three phases of building a private practice. And if you don't know this already, don't beat yourself up. Most of us were not taught this, and it's not talked about. What I see on Facebook, I don't see people talking about sort of a natural progression of steps to get you to a private practice. People start jumping in on the details. Oh, you got to market like this. Oh, you got to name yourself like this. Oh, you got to set your prices like this, without kind of stepping up to a larger level and saying there's a process, and there are three phases to this process. And if you do them in order, everything follows naturally. And some of those decisions we really angst about get simpler too. So, this process is a lot like building a house. You wouldn't start painting the walls before you'd put down a foundation upon which to raise the walls. And you wouldn't start the foundation and then do the roof, because then you got nowhere to put the walls. And things have to happen in a certain order. So, phase one of building a private practice is you laying your foundation. And it's where you ask yourself some of the big questions about your practice. What motivates you? What's your practice all about? What drives you to be a massage therapist? What do you want to do with your work, both with your hands and with your business? This is all about figuring out what your mission statement is. And don't get hung up on that. Think of it as your North Star or Southern Cross for our friends in the Southern Hemisphere. What is it that's guiding you? What is it that's uniquely yours? And sure, massage therapists are going to have very similar Northern Stars guiding, but they're never going to be exactly the same because the language you use is going to be unique to you. So you figure out things like, what is your mission? What is it that drives you? And still in phase one, what is your product? That is, what are the results you want to deliver and the experience you want to offer? We're still laying groundwork. This one's really important because this is going to inform some choices you make in phase two. Still in phase one, we're going to say, how do you fit into the marketplace from the client's point of view? And what kind of client is a best fit for you? So if you know what you want, what is you want your practice to be about for you? And then what kind of product are you delivering results and experience? And then what kind of client's really going to respond to that and be a best fit for you? And given all of that, how do you fit into the marketplace from the client's point of view? That's your groundwork. Once you make these decisions, everything else that comes after that is easier. Much easier. Most of us don't know this. We don't know that this is where you start. We open up our practice and then we sort of work our way around to making some of these decisions, maybe, or not, because nobody told us. So then we get into step two, phase two, which is where we put up the walls and the roof. And that's where most of us actually start. Because once you've got your foundation, then you start making decisions around, where am I going to be located? What kind of hours am I going to offer? What are my rates? Am I going to offer discounts? What are my policies? These nuts and bolts things, which is where we often start, but they're really hard questions to answer if you haven't worked through the groundwork. But this is where you get into the nuts and bolts of, okay, how is my practice going to be shaped by things like that? Well, what am I going to name my practice? All of that kind of stuff. And this is important because all of this groundwork plus this structure, is what you are going to be communicating in phase 3. Now that you've done this and this, now you're ready to promote your practice. Now you're ready to do your marketing. And because you know what's most important to you, what it is you want to deliver, who it is you want to work with, and how they see the world, well, your marketing messages get a lot easier because you know who you're talking to and you know what it is you want to sell. And yes, we are in the business of selling something. We're selling our services because we're business people. That's not a bad word, okay? And when you know how to talk to them because you have some idea of who they are, you can also say, okay, based on who you are, by the way, here's my hours, here's my policies, here's my rates, here's my discounts, here's my payment options. All of that is based on who my clients are, who I want my clients to be, and how I fit into the workplace. And that's a lot of what we communicate in phase 3, the marketing part. And if you've done all of you laid your groundwork and set up your structure, your marketing becomes so much easier. Because it's not, what 12,000 things do I have to do? And oh, here's 12,001 that somebody's now talking about. You can say, okay, given what my practice is all about, given what I deliver in terms of results and experience, and given who I'm trying to reach, I don't have to do 12,000 marketing things. I have to do maybe 5. You can really narrow down your marketing because you know so much now about who you're trying to reach and what you're trying to accomplish. So you're not sort of, I got to do all of it. So here's the bottom line. You lay your groundwork and you build your structure, your marketing gets a lot easier. And then your customer service and your client retention gets easier because you know who you are and you know who your clients are. Or at least, if you're starting brand new out of school, you've got a vague idea, and as you go forward, you'll refine that. But if you're going to build a practice, do it this way. Lay your groundwork, make these important decisions about what your practice is going to be all about. Then set up the structure through things like your policies and your rates and your hours and your name and your discounts and all of that. And then you're ready to tell the world because that's phase 3. And then you can kind of circle back because some of this stuff is iterative. You work a while, you learn some stuff, you go back and go, do I need to change any of the foundation? Do I need to modify the structure? Do I need to hone my marketing even better? And where do I want to go? Now that I've been at this a little while, what does the future look like for me? That's sort of phase 3.5. That's it. 3 phases. They're not complicated. But you probably were not told this and you didn't know this is how it works. And I wrote a book. One of the chapters in my book, The Accidental Business Owner, talks about all of this. But if you don't want to buy the book, I get that. But if you'd like some clarity about this, drop me a note. Go down there in the comments section, go clarity, and I'll reach out to you and we can talk about it some more. But this is what we need to understand. There is a natural progression of decisions that help you build a private practice that makes sense for you. Because first and foremost, your practice has to make sense for you. It has to be something you enjoy, something you feel comfortable in, and something that's taking care of you through things like making enough money. Yeah, that financial stuff comes into phase 2 as well. So if you follow these steps, you're going to have a much more grounded, sensible, practical, and enjoyable practice than if you just start trying to, I'll do this, then I'll do this, then I'll do this, then I'll do that. Because wow, that makes us all crazy, and we're all flinging or failing around in the dark when we do that. And the decisions we need to make about things, especially about things like rates and marketing, become so painful when we haven't done this. So let's start doing this. That's my idea. Let's start doing this. If you got questions about it, drop me a note. I love talking about this, and I'll be happy to talk to you some more. So, for those of you in the U.S., may your Friday after Thanksgiving not be a day of bloating and regret. For those of you in the rest of the world, may you have a reason to be thankful for something. May your Friday be good. Saturday if you're in Australia and New Zealand. And I'll be back on Monday, and I'll talk about something else. In the meantime, take damn good care of yourself because you're worth it. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.